Good day, ladies and gentlemen, this is Advanced Logic, and welcome back to Let's Play Legend of Zelda. You didn't hear that. I meant Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. It's been a while, guys. It's been so long, I completely forgot the name of the game. That's kind of pathetic. But yes, I know it's been a long time since I've actually put up a Crystal Chronicles video. But it's because I tried doing all these preparations off screen and off the game, but turns out those preparations were just, I don't know, they weren't exactly helping me towards the goal of this game, which is to freaking beat it. The game, I mean, anyway. So I was trying to collect all these artifacts, but they became more hassle than they were worth, so I just decided to leave it all half-assed. And yes, and now this is going to be a supplementary part where I'm going to be showing off stuff that happened in between the last part and this part. Because some stuff did happen, like some encounters and stuff. And I'm also going to be showing off some, like the last couple of times that we visited Mag Mill, but it was off screen, so you guys didn't get to see it. But now you will, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. So, and this is the time we actually meet them at the 11th year. As you can see, the Carbuncles this time they're fully awake. They don't seem asleep. By the crystal, let me sleep, will you? And yet you're complaining, yet your eyes aren't even closed. What the hell? I don't even know why he's bitching. And what about you? What do you want? Yeah, these guys are definitely not so friendly. Well, then again, considering they just barely woke up, I think, last year, that's something. Oh, you're back. I thought so many thoughts since we last spoke. Really now? You're attempting to do something great, so I should tell you what I know. Tell me over here. Long ago, there existed a great crystal. People lived their lives blessed with its radiance. One day, a great star fell from the sky and shattered the crystal. Miasma spread across the world. That was the beginning of it all. Really now? The crystal's blessings faded with its light. The world grew dark under Miasma's reign of death. But shards of the crystal still kept Miasma at bay. People soon gathered around them, and there they built settlements. But that was very long ago. No mortal now would know of such things. I think that's all he says. If we talk to him again, he's going to be saying the exact same thing over and over again. And what about you, Stiltskin? Well, the way to find out why we Moogles can survive out in the miasma. Thought we might be monsters, but it can't be. We're as different from them as we are from you. But I get the feeling that Moogles have a lot in common with the creatures here. So, Moogles are just evolved forms of these carbuncles or something? I don't know. A deviation of some sort? And yes, of course. I don't know, it's not that rare. I did start visiting you guys, what, like 2 or 3 years ago. But yeah. Again, I only visited once a year, just like Grandma. So yes, and shut the hell up. Why not even bother talking to you? So I don't think other than the first carbuncle we ever saw, I don't think anyone else says any more than one thing. So yeah, especially, I think there's like 2 more over here. If you guys are wondering what I was trying to do off screen and what's Immortal doing here, yeah, we heard that before. Like, if you were wondering what I was doing off screen, well, I was trying to, like, organize how to get these artifacts that I've been wanting to complete the game with. They weren't really necessary, but I wanted to get them just for the sake of saying that I got them. Am I still dreaming? Of course you are, good sir. That's why your eyes are open. But I did manage to get a couple of them, like a few of them. Not necessarily, like, game impacting, but they will kind of help a little bit. As you guys can see right here, I actually have an extra command slot, and that means I could, that means I got the last pocket that, I think it was called the Ultimate Pocket, and I got that from the Mine of Cthulhu's. Like, in order to get it from the Mine of Cthulhu's, you have to fight the boss right there. You have to fight the boss of it on the 3rd cycle, and you have to have met the bonus point requirement. So for the Ultimate Pocket, you needed like 146 points, or more. So yeah. And even then, it still shows up at a chance, so you might not be so lucky, and then you have to go through the whole thing again. And as you guys can see, I also got the Thunder and Fire Rings. So, the Thunder Ring you could get inside the Celebration Cave, but by the time I got to it, was, like, you could have gotten this a lot sooner, at a better chance, I may add, but I got this on the 3rd cycle, and in order to get it through the 3rd cycle, you have to fight the boss, and you have to meet the requirement of 158 or more points. Or 198, I can't remember. Whatever. So, and then for the Fire Ring, you just have to go through you have to go through Mount Kalanda. You have to fight the boss on the 3rd cycle with at least 102 points. So, it's not that tedious for this one. The Thunder Ring gave me so much fucking trouble, though. And I even tried going for another thing. I tried going for the Sun Pendant, which would have given me my 8th and final heart. But unfortunately, I had to go through that so many times, and I never ended up getting it. So yeah. As for anything else, I don't really remember what else. Well, I did get a diamond plate off screen. I just had to find a diamond armor design. And it wasn't really that costly, so you just need a diamond or a calcum, and yes, that's all you needed. So I got all this crap. The Blessed Sash right there actually prevents me from getting petrified, if I remember correctly. I'm just going to put the speed charm back on. Or it helps me resist poison, so that's going to be a little helpful. And I can't really remember what else to say, and I think that's pretty much everything. So, if you're wondering what the rest of this part is going to be consisting of, well, this is why I'm calling this a supplementary part. You don't have to watch this, you could just go straight to the next video if you wanted to, but I'm doing this for my own sake. I'm going to be reading the entire diary, from page 1 onward. From page 1 to what I got right now, so, yeah, if you guys, I'm gonna be reading through 83 freaking pages! So yeah, go ahead, skip this if you want. I'm doing this for my own sake, but if you want to know, if you want to re-look back into the whole journey that we've gone through this whole Let's Play with, then go ahead and watch the rest, but if not, skip to the next part. That's when we're going to Mount Bellinge, the final dungeon. The morning of my departure was here at last. I tried to brace myself for the journey ahead. There was a field along the main road where I decided to camp until sunrise. Tomorrow I set out in search of myrrh. Not far from the village, someone called to me. The man introduced himself as Sol Rock, leader of the caravan from Alphataria. It seems that news of my caravan had already reached them. They showed me much kindness, and a Moogle named Stiltskin gave me a lesson in combat. I wound my way through the vivid green hills and followed the path to reach the river bell, and I know I'm gonna get tongue-tied in this whole freaking diary reading. All my tension seemed to flow away with the river bell's serene currents. As I pressed onward, I slew many goblins. I soon saw a rainbow over a great waterfall. Who could have known that I would fight the giant crabs surrounded by such beauty? I came across the caravan from Alphataria today. The town was already abuzz with talk of the Black Knight, but Sol had more tales to tell. Sol spoke with such enthusiasm that he actually seemed to admire him. It's astonishing how quickly word of the Black Knight had spread in spite of the way miasma isolates every town. I visited a Moogle nest for the first time. The Moogle there cheerfully welcomed me into his home. When it was time to go, I thought he looked a bit sad. Patted the bonbon on his head and bade him farewell. I wonder if all Moogles live so comfortably. Not Mog. Fuck that. The miasma stream. Damn it. Many caravans have passed through, and now I will follow in their tracks. Someday others will follow me. I feel like I've become a small part of history. As I approach the mushroom forest, I somehow feel like I'm shrinking. Each toadstool I pass seems taller than the last. Now I know I'm inside the forest. I'm walking along the rooftop of mushrooms. Although a Marlboro blocked my path, I prevailed and collected a drop of myrrh. Mars Pass. This land was once the home of the Lilties. The iron weapons they wrought here, they once ruled the entire world. Now this place is but a small town at the crossroads. Time washes away everything. Joy, agony, everything. The mine of Cthulhu is a relic of the age of Lilton Reen. Orcs rule it now. As I ventured deep into the mine, I kept jumping at my own shadow, cast on the walls by the flickering lamps overhead. Found the Orc King waiting for me in the deepest cavern within. After my victory, I collected a drop of myrrh. With my first journey behind me, my caravan has finally come home. Before setting out, I heard only stories of the world outside. Once out there, I found excitement, surprise, and a bit of hardship. Whenever I close my eyes, I vividly remember all my adventures as I searched for myrrh. Tonight is the festival. It's time to celebrate. Bertros, I don't know. Goblin Wall lies to east of YouTube, nestled among the mountains of Cutliema, whatever. As expected, the place was infested with goblins. They engage in dark and sinister ceremonies, so the people of my village fear them. I planned a daring raid into the goblins' lair to collect the myrrh there. It worked. The village should be safer now. Nicely put. It worked. I came upon the caravan from Mars Pass. It was overturned. Few monsters prowl the road, and I've rarely seen such things in all my travels. Dude, it's only been 2 years. What was I talking about? The sight was so bizarre that I merely stared in amazement before it occurred to me to lend a hand. Thankfully, no one was badly hurt. They said they were attacked by the infamous Black Knight. Why would he do such a thing? Why the fuck not? Early this morning, I passed the caravan from Alphataria. They proudly marched right past me. I must admit, they were an impressive sight. Oh yeah, because marching is definitely a big fucking deal. My first visit to Alphataria. Huge buildings crowded together. Lots of strange people hurrying about. To me, they all look the same. They all wear the same hunted expression as though something is chasing them down. After eating, I was prepared to set off when suddenly some Lilties ran by in hot pursuit of a monster. They were probably from Mars Pass. That village has long been home to blacksmiths, so they were probably out gathering materials. They say that the myrrh tree sprouted in Taida after the village fell to ruin. The tree grew from the hopes of people waiting for the caravan to return home. But at the same time, those hopes also gave rise to Armstrong. Now I understand why caravans try to avoid this place. I was amazed to meet a traveler who did not belong to any caravan. He was stranded since his Papalpamus was injured. I lent him some ointment from back home. In return, he showed me his compact crystal, something I've only heard of. Imagine, a portable crystal. But carrying something like that around is just asking for a visit from a band of... No, could he have been... I don't know what that means anyway. Today I paid a visit to Moshette Manor. I felt small in the mushroom forest, but here I'm like an ant. I met the Gigas Master and his Lamia wife, together with their Tomberry chefs. I almost felt sorry for the chaos I brought into their home. Perhaps I should have knocked. Yeah, you almost felt sorry. I felt sorry the whole fucking time. So ends the second year of my caravan. Miasma hindered my steps, and monsters struck at me from behind. Still, I'll always look back fondly on the warm smiles that greeted me in villages I visited. It was always a joy to meet other caravans on the long, lonely road. I hope I see them again next year. Today I decided to take a side road for a change of pace. To my surprise, I heard someone call out to my caravan. It was a group of kindly-looking clavets. I looked at their clothes and told me that they probably hailed from the fields of Foom. Shella, Citadel of the Ukes. There's a slight chill in the air, and I find it hard to believe that YouTube and Shella are part of the same world. They say that Ukes dress in strange ways to maximize their magical abilities. Someone once said that they have no bodies, only souls. Ukes are a mysterious people indeed. Bel-Lus is a monument to peace. The myrrh tree sprouted here as if to celebrate the coming of such times. It is unfortunate, however, that the tree grew near the golem who was left there to protect the sluice from monsters. Suppose it just goes to show that nothing can be gained without toil. I spotted the striped brigands by the main road. I recently heard that they killed a man, so I asked them for the truth. They claimed that they never take lives. As I talked with them, I realized they're good people at heart. I think I could trust them. The striped brigands suddenly appeared and surrounded the caravan. Oh, how freaking ironic! They demanded I leave behind all my valuables. Undaunted, I decided to charge through their blockade. Sorry I ran you over, little Moogle. I had a feeling you'd survive. But he didn't. No, I'm kidding, he did. The fields of Foom. It is said that clavets worked tirelessly to cultivate this land, but it is also said that Ukes irrigated this land and that the main road was built by Lilties long ago. This place truly demonstrates the potential of peace. Winds have always come from Celebration Cave, beyond the southern forests of the plains of Foom. But who could have known it was the cave worms doing? After collecting the myrrh there, I looked back from the mouth of the cave. No wind stirred now that the monster had drawn its last breath. Legends are only legends after all. But as I turned to leave, a gust of wind brushed my cheeks. I wonder why anyone would actually want to travel into Miasma. Today I met a stranger named Gertie who was nearly killed by the caravan from Mars Pass. Lightning brings the cactus pain, now it all begins again. I'm not quite sure what the verse means, but I think he recited it to me as thanks. According to ancient Yukish lore, Flan disliked fire, for heat can melt their gelatinous flesh. For reasons unknown, they were unaffected by spells that alter time, such as slow and stop. The more powerful Dark Flan cannot be harmed until a holy spell is cast upon him, just like any other fucking transparent enemy, goddammit. I shared a meal with the caravan from Foom. They offered me bread and meat fresh from their farm. Bread was incredibly soft and the meat was tender and delicious. The meat was tender and delicious, alright, not me. Nah, I'm kidding. But the tough bread Mother bakes is still one of my favorites. By the time caravans reach Stephen's Courts, the long journey has made many weary and some arrogant. The name of the place is intended to be a warning to stay alert and not succumb to fatigue or overconfidence. I must brace myself, and that's the last thing I say before I freaking wipe them out. Well, before they wipe me out, but you know what I mean. My third year with the caravan draws to a close. As I made new memories this year, those from the last began to fade. In one fairy tale, memories that grow dim are eaten by a terrible demon. I wonder what happens to memories when they're completely forgotten. I suppose looking back and cherishing the past can bring sadness when we face the future. I sailed to the island of Kalanda and landed safely, much to my relief. Mount Kalanda fumed angrily in the distance. I hurried onward. The summit waited the Iron Giant, who gave me a fair amount of trouble. All is well, though, and I'm back on the coast. Today I saw the caravan from Alphataria. Sol was shocked to hear that the Black Knight had attacked the caravan from Mars Pass. Furious, he began to look into the history of the Black Knight. The last thing anyone heard was that a preacher had hired him, and that the pair had headed deep into the swamp. Today I learned a flan. I already learned a flan before this, what the hell? Their gelatinous bodies have no arms or legs. They attack by coiling up their bodies and then springing at foes in a ferocious headbutt. They also spit a sticky acid substance from their gaping mouths. Though this acid lacks the power to melt weapons or armor, it can restrict the victim's movements. This morning I ran to the caravan from Mars Pass. They're always hunting monsters, and sometimes they catch one. Today they shared some of their bounty with me. I know I can't worry for every village out there, but I wonder how their hunt for myrrh is going. Today I visited Conal Curach. As I marched over those endless planks, I began to understand how the Selkie must have felt. Which is funny, because I'm a Selkie. The dragon zombie waited me at the end. Long ago, Selkies must have fought this creature in search for their new home. The myrrh tree dropped mournfully as if it marked where the Selkie's dreams were buried. Gertie again. Today he was arguing with a lady from Foom. Why does he argue with caravanners we cannot travel without one? Of crumbled in few remnants, its faulty beams will not be missed. I wonder if this is a famous verse. Well, I don't expect him to repay me anytime soon. Rabbena Terah. They say this city was built by misguided souls who clung to dreams of reviving the long-lost age of prosperity. Now its king and its subjects dwell here in eternal afterlife. After the lich vanished through the portal, a ghostly silence gripped the chamber. My 4th year with the caravan is over. So many memories from my earlier adventures had dimmed, from the joys of chance encounters to the suspense of my first battles. It would be a pity if the goal of gathering myrrh became the only thing that drove me forward. But I can't look back at only at the past. The quest for myrrh means hope for the future. This is the village of the Selkies. At first I felt a little scared. Even now I shiver when I remember the old pier and the sharp winds. I also shivered when I realized that someone had snatched my wallet. I never want to come here again. I saw the couple from Luda. The 2 Selkies formed the caravan from that distant village. They asked how my quest for myrrh was going, but they seemed awfully nonchalant about their own. Here I am in the Linari Desert. A sea of sand stretches in every direction. Buried treasure? I feared I wouldn't even find a myrrh tree in this desolation. The legendary treasure had to wait. I fought the antlion and collected a drop of myrrh. I'm a long way from home. Okay. So that was the Black Knight. Berserk is the only word that comes to mind. Swinging his own weapon wildly, he hunted something I could not see. In a weary voice, he claimed that his memory had been stolen and that he's now searching for the thief. A queen must lead her people. She cannot turn back on her duty. To be honest, I have wanted to leave the caravan at times. Felt that I wasn't truly needed, but I concluded that I wanted to stay. I don't know why exactly. I guess not knowing is what keeps me here. It's funny because I'm the only guy in the freaking caravan. I camped with the caravan from Foom and walked with them for a while this morning. Their gentle manner reminded me of my family. When I spoke of my parents' profession, they gave me some advice on farming. Perhaps I must send some seeds back home. It's funny because my family isn't farmers. I ran across the caravan from Mars Pass. They were heading home with their chalice full of myrrh. They were quite generous with weapons that they found, as some were no use to them. I suppose that great blacksmiths like them prefer their own weapons over those wrought by others anyway. Today I defeated the giant crab at Riverbell Path and quickly collected a drop of myrrh. It was an easy fight, so I spent a peaceful interlude over a light meal. I was a little surprised. I never considered myself a fighter. And yeah, you're going to be seeing that a lot, because this is the part, around the parts where I started doing the second cycles. So yeah, I'm just going to be skimming over those entries. I can't believe it. I knew there was something suspicious about Gertie, but to think he's a swindler. I saw him cheat the caravan from Shella. At any rate, his verse for today follows. Lonely mushroom bursts of flame in the land that quicksands claim. Apparently he penned all of these himself. Today defeated the Marlborough Mushroom Forest, quickly a drop of myrrh, easy fight, peaceful interlude, light meal, little surprised, now I consider myself a fighter, blah blah blah. 5 years had passed since I first set out. There was a man who lost his memory and spent his days chasing some sort of light. How could anyone go on with any memory at all, without any memory at all? Perhaps he hunts the light because, stripped of his memory, he has nothing left. If he still had his memory, he would surely have chosen a different path. Today I defeated the Orc King at Minecrathurges, collected a drop of myrrh, blah. Today I witnessed the death of the Black Knight. A boy named Leon Esla was riding with the caravan from Alphataria. He drove his spear into the night. The Black Knight seemed at peace when he died. I wish I knew why. Goblin King, Don Lenoir, drop of myrrh, yes. Was I dreaming, or did I really see something on Gertie's back? He mentioned something quite strange. He said that he had a brother whom he had never met. What can he mean by that? 3 rocks await the winter's kiss. One by one, they find their bliss. Defeated Armstrong Atita, drop of myrrh, and sometimes they switch it up. I was like, oh man, Mog was worried. Oh boy. Today was the end of my 6th year. I later heard more about the child who slew the Black Knight. Apparently his father had left before he was even born. I wondered whether the boy simply wanted some sort of memory with his father. By avenging his father's death, he would form an unbreakable link with the man he never had the chance to know. Band of thieves and a swindler! And it's just reading off the first 4 things. In the end shall bloom a flower, sacred light reveals its power. Maybe I can look for buried treasure there. Moshit Manor, Gigaslore, Drop a Mur, yeah. Vels of Sluis, Golem, yeah. Mag Mel, village a legend. Or rather, a village trying to disappear from legend. Has time stopped here? The air is stifling. A peculiar wind blows through. Lutes of Mars Pass gave me some advice. Blonde carry nothing worthy of note. Well, water plants sometimes yield some chili jello, which may come in handy. Demon's Court, Lizardman King, yeah. Tonight I celebrate the end of my 7th year. In ages past there was no miasma and all the world was a paradise. A princess drew radiance from memories and with them she made the crystal shine. And damn it, I skipped like 10 pages. Our world used to be this paradise. How could we forget to hope for a world without miasma? Today a voice hailed at me from a distance. Amadadi of Shella beckoned me closer. Pointing to a loaf of ordinary bannock, he boasted it was the model of the whole world. So I played along and took a bite. The entire caravan went into an uproar. Amadadi can really get carried away. I found the caravan from Alphataria and from Mars Pass shouting at each other. Though all were lilties, it seems that city folk and country folk don't get along. Who can blame them? They've each chosen different paths in life. Defeated the Cane Werv in Celebration Cave, easy fight, yeah. Mount Kalanda, Iron Giant, same thing. Dragon Zombie, Mog was worried, of course. My 8th year comes to a close. One day a star fell from the heavens. Memories lost their glow and the crystal grew dim. From the darkness a great evil soon emerged. A great evil soon emerged. I don't even know. The rest can be heard in Shella, but this is no children's tale. The meteor was as real as monsters and miasma. Today I defeated Lenari Desert Antlion, blah blah blah. Fuck the Antlion. Rabenitara, the Lich. According to ancient Yugish lore, electric jellyfish fill their hollow bodies with a gas that is lighter than the surrounding air and use electricity generated from that gas to adjust their body temperature. This allows them to fly. Through this process, they move with a great agility as they attack with their tentacles. Their anatomy renders them vulnerable to ice magic but immune to lightning spells. Salvation Cave. Cave Worm. Yeah, this is when I was doing the 3rd cycle off screen. So from here on out are entries that you guys have not seen. The curtain falls on my 9th year. The demon awoke ravenous and began to swallow the shadows. Monsters sprouted in their wake. The tale is filled with many opposing elements, like the star in the darkness, the princess and the demon, the crystal's glow and the monsters. And behind them all lie memories. I think it's trying to convey something important. A long shadow stretched across the dirt path. It belonged to Amadadi. He pointed to a loaf of moldy bannock and declared that the mold represents miasma. I told him that mold is nothing more than mold, but he responded with some gibberish to cover himself, I suppose. What a character. At dawn, I met the caravan from Foom. Every time we meet, the conversation turns to nature or farming. Everything about them is down to earth. Hearing their stories, I can't help but feel that such a life is a good way to survive in this miasma-infested world. I came across Amadadi and his caravan. I knew it was nothing but bannock, but he would not let himself think that way. He is kind of peculiar folk, but now I believe that this is how they seek knowledge. Maybe that loaf was merely a Tufulish philosophy. Never underestimate Amadadi. Mine of Cthulhu, this is when I went 3rd cycle out by myself, of course. And that's where I got the ultimate pocket, Mount Kalanda, that's where I got the fire ring for the 3rd cycle. Today I walked for a while with the caravan from Alphataria. The entire time, Soul spoke of nothing but his fondness for days long gone. I suppose some people never change. And this is when I was fighting the Lenari Desert, the Antlion. I managed to beat him once, but then he fucking didn't drop that freaking pendant, man. My 10th year with the caravan is over. Once monsters had blackened our memories, the demon devoured them. From the darkness, monsters spawned anew. How did the rest of the story go? There was something about a princess, but I can't remember how it ends. And yes, there is one more thing after that, but it happened while I was making my way here to the abyss, so yeah. I was surprised to find the caravan from Foom channeling near the main road. They rarely come out this far, but today they were selling their surplus items. Decided to buy something, but I didn't have the money and they refused to haggle. It's a tough world out there. That seems kind of anticlimactic, considering, yeah, this would have been perfect to end this diary entry on. I'll just, yeah. Something about a princess, demon, monsters, and yeah. So, with that out of the way, that's the whole freaking supplementary part for you guys. So, if you guys like this part, if you even watched it, and if you enjoyed it, give it a like, subscribe if you want to watch future videos, and feel free to watch any of my previous videos, if you really feel like it. Next time on Let's Play Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, we're going to be going into the end of the game, so see you guys then.